Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon. I don't even need a shitty long name, but I'm still giving myself a shitty long name for my Patreon episodes, Perna. Now, you can build your team two ways in the NFL. You can do it the boring way, where you draft your team for 3 days out of the year and develop them into quality players, like watching paint dry in a room where C-SPAN plays in the background, just to see them sign with another team as soon as they develop and hit their peak. Or you can do things the cool way and be the team that signs those players and backs up the Brinks truck in front of their house and tells them, "You play for me now." Even though you're paying proven talent and not unsure college prospects, there's still risk involved. Not every player that a team signs in free agency can continue to improve or even maintain their level of success he had with his previous team. 2019 was a year where we saw both the free agents that flourished and the ones that failed, which, to be honest, is like every year, I guess. So in this video, this exclusive Patreon video that you pay your good hard-earned money for, I'm going to humbly present you with the top 5 hits and top 5 busts from the 2019 free agent class. It's this or OnlyFans for me. So please, please keep supporting me here on Patreon and I will give you extra content. Half of this video is going to be live on YouTube, so anyone watching on YouTube who is also considering Patreon can see what extra videos you get on my Patreon. So, what do I do here? Whew. Yeah, that's good sports. Again, for you YouTubers, patreon.com/that'sgoodsports, that's where this full video will be. You're getting half here on YouTube. So, I know that's shitty. I know advertising like this is shitty, but I wanted you to see what we're doing on Patreon in case you were considering it. If you don't have the money, don't worry, just keep watching the videos here. I appreciate the support. I like your money support better, but the regular support also very, very nice. Let's start with a little positivity for once and go over the top 5 free agent hits in descending order. Will, TJ, and I made this video before the Super Bowl, and looking back at it, I think I would have put Tyrann Mathieu on one of the best signings of 2019, the list. 3 years, $42 million. He was a huge part of helping that defense, especially in the playoffs, so he's not on this list, but I probably would have thrown him on. Full transparency. That's what you get here. Transparency. Number 5, we have John Brown, wide receiver of the Bills. The Bills needed help in the offseason for Josh Allen, and their best move was signing wide receiver John Brown. Brown hadn't hit 1,000 yards since his second year in Arizona when he averaged 15.4 yards per catch and broke 1,000 on just 65 receptions. He made a solid impact in Baltimore in 2018 with 715 yards and 5 tutties, and even though the Ravens drafted Hollywood Brown because everyone named Brown has elite speed, I have to imagine John Harbaugh would have loved to have had John on that offense during Lamar's breakout year. Jesus Lord, all the Johns and Browns are really fucking confusing. But the Bills were the ones to make the bet that John Brown could do even better, and he did. After signing a 3-year, $27 million deal in Buffalo, Brown had a resurgence at wide receiver and caught 72 passes for 1,060 yards and 6 tickle-loggles. Well worth the $9 million a year. Keep in mind, that was over a third of Josh Allen's passing yards last season, and Brown still has the best touchdown celebration in the NFL, indisputably. Indisputably is correct. Number 4, Jamie Collins, linebacker, Patriots. I debated even mentioning Jamie Collins because we know the Patriots used him to tank the Browns and come back at a bargain rate to return to his former greatness. But I can't dance around the truth. And guess what? He fucking did just that. Collins felt it in the air tonight all season, just like his father wanted. The Pats took Collins back after 2 down years in Cleveland on a 1-year, $3 million deal. And all Collins did was ball. 7 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 3 picks, and 1 touchdown. Collins reemerged as a great linebacker against all odds. Just another day in paradise for the Pats. Oh no, and they did not think twice. He's an unrestricted free agent now and will command close to $9 million a year. 3 times what the cheap-ass Patriots paid him. The Patriots use players for self-gratification and then disregard them like a condom right after they peak. I saw one article titled, "Lions Instructed to Avoid Jamie Collins," which makes me think the Lions will now sign him. Collins will be the second best outside linebacker available in free agency, so he should have his choice on where to play next. Sorry, I was trying to think of another Phil Collins reference, but I can't. Number 3, running back Mark Ingram for the Ravens. Part of the reason Lamar Jackson broke out was because he had a serious threat at running back this last season. That guy was Mark Ingram, who joined Baltimore for 3 years at $15 million from the Saints. Even though Jackson hit 1,000 yards himself, Ingram found time to surpass 1,000 on just 202 carries while adding 15 total touchdowns. All of that for $5 million a year. Plus, the Ravens can flex on anyone with an all-Heisman backfield whenever they want and put RG3 in the game. Lamar Jackson famously stated, "Not bad for a running back this season." Well, the thing that is bad for a running back is their salary. And Lamar Jackson should consider setting aside a couple million for Ingram when Jackson gets a $150 million deal from the Ravens in a couple years. At which time the Ravens won't re-sign Ingram for a second deal, and even if he still has gas in the tank, he'll have to play for the vet minimum on a running back needy team that doesn't deserve him. So Lamar, you need to take care of Mark. Number 2, ZaDarius Smith, linebacker, Packers. The Packers have been notoriously quiet in free agency, but they broke that trend in 2019 when they signed Billy Turner, Adrian Amos, Preston Smith, and ZaDarius Smith, who was the best of the 4. Smith racked up 55 tackles and 13.5 sacks in 2019, including 2 in their playoff win versus Seattle. Smith didn't come cheap, signing for 4 years at $66 million, but he was well worth it and a major reason they made it as far as they did in the postseason. That and Matt LaFleur's beautifully manicured eyebrows. So smooth. Between ZaDarius, Mark Ingram, and John Brown, you could argue the Ravens have an eye for talent. A three-eyed Raven, if you will. ZaDarius was drafted by Baltimore in 2015, and maybe if they kept him, they could have handled the Chiefs better in the playoffs. Smith finished as Pro Football Focus's highest graded edge defender and totaled the most pressures in the league by their metrics at 93. And the number 1 hit, Shaq Barrett, linebacker, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He is the one, the only Shaq Barrett, and he is the top free agent hit of 2019 and might be the top free agent hit of 2020. That's impressive. So happy the Broncos couldn't figure out a way to fucking keep him. Now, Shaq Barrett, he's the one that got away. And he bet on himself in 2019, signed a 1-year, $4 million deal, and oh, he did bet correctly. 9 sacks through the first 4 weeks of a season, an NFL record, and 19.5 sacks total on the season, a Buccaneers record. Barrett never had the chance to start in Denver, but was always an elite backup and proved he's an elite starter this year. Expect him to make a boatload, a Pirates shipload, if he stays in Tampa this offseason, which means most likely he'll be plundering the Bucs' booty once again. So what have we learned here about hitting in free agency? These are my holy commandments on what NFL teams should do during the free agency period. Spend money on pass rushers. Sign players for cheap that have underperformed due to circumstances out of their control, and give out 1-year deals to keep players motivated. If you follow those rules, you'll probably do all right in free agency. And now, if you want the part of the episode where I shit on all of the free agent misses, you gotta see it on Patreon. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports here on YouTube. You only got half the video. I really hope that doesn't piss you off, because the 5 guys I gave you for free agency hits, that's a pretty good list. Sorry, I'm taking advantage of capitalism. I'm a capital.